stopped over. We're gonna go visit a market. I'm going for our weekend ride. Just filled up petrol. So this little one, $10.60 from 2 bars from empty. His bike,
2 bars from full.
$10.31. Obviously a bigger tank than mine. But yeah, we're gonna go to the market now. What are you looking at?
Looking at how I've got helmet hair and I need to get a haircut, everyone.
Oh, wherever you feel comfortable with, and then just
Oh, some nice plants.
That's really pretty. Look at that. That is really pretty. This came out of a from a haircut.
Good.
Yeah, you do. I bet you'll be a lot cooler now, yeah?
Yep. Feels like I'm back in the military now, guys. Look. Back
Sure,
to,
turn around.
Down to nothing.
Yeah, no, it's looking more cleaner for sure. So we're at Sushi Train now having some lunch. Very busy, we just had to like get a number and just wait for our number to be called up. We are fully packed here. Something that is quite difficult is when you want to go somewhere. I mean, you've got nowhere to put your helmet, you've got nowhere to put your jacket, and unfortunately because we took the Panniers earlier today, we actually bought a few things. Are we going?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So we just came back home from just a short day out with riding and having lunch and stuff. But now I really wanted to get into the review with Mark's opinion on the bike and all that. Just give you a bit of a rundown on it, and his thoughts and stuff like that. So just stay tuned.
Last time we did a little bit of filming, it was just me picking up a bike, but there was a lot of interest in regards to the bike. There was a lot of interest in regards to a bit of a review on the bike. So what we're going to do is go over a couple of basic things. We're not going to talk about how fast the bike can go. We're not going to talk about how many horsepower to the rear wheels. There's more than you're ever going to use on the street. So if you are overseas, it isn't a Ninja 1000, it is a Z1000 SX, but at the end of the day, it's still the same bike.
Someone just...
There's a few things that we've noticed since we picked the bike up, and probably the first one is the temperature. It does run hot. It did have me worried, but let's face it, like many people, we don't really read the manual, we just get on and go. The dealer did try to warn me, but I didn't realise it ran as hot as it did. So later on we'll have a look at the dash, and the actual temperature gauge is at the bottom of that dash. It actually runs almost to the top when you're in traffic, but it's actually not the top of the temperature rating. So once it gets to the top, it'll actually then come down and start flashing at the bottom, and when it overheats, the actual immobilizer light comes on and flashes. So if you do get one, don't panic. That's the first thing I did. I was checking coolant and all sorts of things, thinking that the bike was running too hot. It's just the way the bike's set up. The other thing is fuel. Guys, probably something I should have looked at before I purchased the bike, but it does drink a lot of gas. So on the first tank of petrol, I had it in the high setting for power. We did give it a little bit on the way home on the highway, to be fair, but we did about 195 k's to a 19 litre tank, which is probably a bit thirsty. Since then, I've dropped it down into the low powered setting, and to be honest with you, I can't notice a difference. So even in 6th gear, I'm still doing 4,000 RPM, and if I hit the throttle, it just wants to go. So I can't see any noticeable difference in the power, but I do see a big noticeable difference in the petrol. So, you know, I probably did about 40 or 50 Ks to one little bar on the petrol tank, I have filled it up since then because we went riding this morning. When we picked the bike up, we came back down the highway. We had it in traction 1, which is meant to be like a track setting, you could almost say. We took a 40 k an hour hairpin turn at about 80 kilometers an hour. I didn't feel it cut in at all. I felt like I still had full control on the bike. We did get caught in the wet. I dropped it down to 3, and again I didn't feel it kick in, so maybe I'm not pushing it hard enough, or I'm not going around the corners quite hard enough. But then again, we haven't been out on some really twisty roads yet, so we're looking forward to getting some really fine weather, and we'll take it out and then maybe give you a little bit more feedback on the traction settings. But you know, at this stage I haven't really felt any difference. So to give you an idea, if we have a look down into this part here, at the moment we're on traction 1 and we're in the low power setting. So if I've hit the set button down here, as you can see now on the dash it's flashing. If I click up, I'm now in the full power mode, that's the low setting. If I hit the same setting button that we showed you before, we now click over and we have traction 1, 2 and 3. 3 is for wet, 1 you can say is track, so it's more or less letting you go as hard as you want. Hit set again and we're off. So it doesn't work while you're riding. I have tried it. You do need to be still when you're doing it. Probably something else that you sort of pick up along the way as well. The only other thing I've sort of noticed was when you ride blinkers very close together. Sometimes when you cancel the blinkers, you actually start to turn left again, but I suppose it's something you just get used to. Very sensitive. But other than that, the new seat, we test rode the 16 as well as the 17. The 17 does have this much more comfortable seat, and really you could tell the difference within 10 minutes of riding both bikes. So the 16 definitely much harder, 17 definitely a more comfortable ride. Kirsty's also commented that the pillion is a much more comfortable ride on the 17. The handlebars at the back here, or the grip bars, they're sort of curved up now on the 17, so when you're sitting on the back of the bike you haven't got your arms dead straight, they're actually a little bit more bent if you do hang on to the bars, that is, and they're still out of the way of the panniers. So that unlocks both removing the pannier and opening it. So to open it, it's just a matter of pulling this, the whole thing comes down. As we discussed before, it is a bit of a tight space. Disappointing because we've purchased it to put our helmets in. They do fit, but they only just fit. Look, to take the panniers off, same as what we did to open them. The only difference is we're going to pull this lever up here. This locking device comes back, and then the whole pannier slides off. When we first got the bike home, I'll be honest with you, it was a struggle to get them off. I think it's tight. The more we do it, the easier it becomes. It could be a user error. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of sliding it and lifting up, and then the whole thing comes off. To take the key out, just remember that's got to go back down, otherwise your key doesn't come out, and that's it. They do have heat shields on the bottom. I think Nelly does look a little bit better without them, but if you're going to go somewhere, I think you really do need them. That's sort of answered probably most of the questions. A couple of other questions that were from the last video was height. I'm about 177, and I can sort of just put my feet flat on the floor. So if you're a little bit shorter, then yeah, that could be a struggle. It's not that heavy a bike. It handles extremely well. I've spent my whole life on sports bikes. Getting a little bit older, I wanted to sit a bit straighter, and this is the closest thing I found for that sports bike feel, but at that upright position. So if you're looking at wanting to hang on to that sports bike feeling but have a bit more of an upright ride, this is a fantastic bike, and I definitely recommend it. Look, if you've got any more questions on the bike, feel free just to ask us, and we'll be happy to answer them as we go along. We didn't realise that there'd be so much interest out there.
You little teddy! Oh, buddy! We're home. He wants to come. I don't have the key, buddy.
Yeah.
Hello! Teddy! Hello.
Okay.
Let's do it.
last month.